Hi, it must be Sunday, therefore time for the Sensphere at 6. But in case you check your watches, yes, we are 15 minutes early to take you through some interesting pointers and news. You're, of course, welcome to watch the Sensphere Sunday slogathon, 4 hours of debate, news, headlines, puppets, cheek, laughs. So do make sure you have all your Sunday sustenance ready. We always promise you common sense, talking sense, making sense when it comes to Doctor Who. So thanks for joining us. Tasty debate as per usual tonight. And of course, at 8 o'clock, we have an amazing debate on saving Doctor Who with Daryl Joyce and an animated illustrated package that will thrill you and give you ideas on how Doctor Who could be presented in 2025. I have a full feisty panel for you, so don't go away at 8. And I tell you what, the 2-minute video he's got is brilliant. We have all the talk in the final days before the Day of Judgment, the Day of Reckoning, the moment of truth, as Scylla used to say, when season 2 has to deliver a Disney deal, a BBC deal, RTD's job. They're all riding on it. So we will be looking at all the interviews, the rumours, the gossip, and arguing the toss along the way. So for starters, I have a tasty bit of leaked news. Here we go, everybody. First bit of leaked news about a classic villain coming back. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, if you take a look at that, have you guessed yet? Yes, my first item tonight, no, I'm being cheeky, is what the hell was he wearing? It's the meddling monk. Surely that's the meddling monk. I do think that outfit is the meddling monk. Shoot, he's going to regenerate into the meddling monk. And I am known as the time muddler as before, so I know my stuff. Yeah, there you go. Only on this channel can you get leaked advice like that. Wow. What was he wearing? We've also got, I have to say, please check out Daryl Joyce's animations. He tells us a bit more about his Cliffhangers project. You know, he's got another book project out. He's thinking of doing another calendar. He'll give us all that data at 8 o'clock. But I will give you a trailer in a moment. In fact, if you're nice to me in a moment, I'll give you a few little trailers of what he's got coming up. Look at that from Revelation. He's been working on Frontier in Space. He's been working on Horror Fan Rock. He's been working on the Sea Devils. Some great, great stuff there. Look at that with the Rutan War. I have to say that really impressed me, that top shot. And I thought, whoa, can you imagine a world where this is happening? The Rutans in space, flying through the air, the Sontaran ships crippled. Wow. You know, where can Doctor Who go? It shouldn't be hard, this. It really shouldn't be hard. So really welcome everybody in the thread, or the margin, as I used to say. You know me, my English, sometimes you wonder, don't you? Stephen Braddock, shoot, he looks like that tramp Dick Emery used to play. Oh, yes. What was his name? It'll come to mind. Yeah. So I'm going to keep going through some of these items, and then at 6 o'clock with the credits, my whole panel come in. So don't you worry. But yes, take a look at them. And Daryl Joyce has got more. Really, you know, lot more. And if I just show you for a second, I promise you a sneak peek. But here we go. I'll take it on low. You know the Sensphere Saloon will do a decoding analysis. Yeah, you don't hear me waffling, do you? Wow, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? So we've got loads of his animated illustration with some great sound effects. So please stay tuned on that one. Obviously, we've got other items. I can never pronounce this from the Rebus operation. I'm bad enough with the Rebus operation, but the Shrivenzel, which had that dodgy paw. But look at that. That's how to do Dark Doctor Who. And that's one of the big discussion points we do have at 8 o'clock, which is RTD on the right path? as I say, the RTD way or the right way. Bit naughty, I know. But has he got it wrong? Going light, going frothy, breaking the fourth wall, song and dance routines, everything's a nice little jibe or a joke, when actually you could go dark, you could get the kids behind the sofa, you could get them scared, and when kids get scared, they talk about it and they ask to stay up late to watch it. Come on, why is this hard? And so, of course, Daryl Joyce, who we all know and love, has some amazing illustrations and ideas, but he's always respectful of the original. And this is the other thing. When we look at Sutek and Empire of Death, and we have rumors in season 2, don't we, of Rani coming back, or the Master coming back, or Missy coming back, or whoever coming back. And you think, be respectful of the original character, will you please? That's what's key to me. I really do get worried about that sort of thing. So, lots of Daryl tonight. Look at that. Those of you who love your Earthshock, look at that. As he said, I don't change how it was. I don't impose my own filters on it. I deliver just another kind of version of it, but he doesn't upgrade it or anything. He tries to stick to the original, and that's what I really respect about him, because I think some people like to kind of go more clever ass about that sort of thing. So we've got a lot of Daryl. He's on our panel at 8, so basically he talks through his opinions on Doctor Who, and then, like I said, we get the video and we do an awful lot of exploration of that. Of course, we so take your pick, Draconian or Mondasian Cyberman. We've had an awful lot of marketing, haven't we? How many trailers constitutes having seen the season? I mean, I'm seriously wondering, as an English teacher, whether you actually define that we've seen the season already, because the amount of trailers and snippets and nonsense, and in the end you think, well, there's nothing left for me to watch. I can join all the doctors, like Doctor Who. Now, the other thing we will talk about, now I'll give my opinion very quickly now, and you can tell me yours, but obviously I'll ask the panel at 6. We're straight into the schedules. Doctor Who, The Robot Revolution. Episode 1, Season 2 is going to be against Britain's Got Talent. Now, is that a good or a bad idea? I think this is called Revenge of Ant and Dec. Remember in 2005, RTD was worried sick about Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. Well, here we go. Here we go. It's the Revenge Part 2. And I think this time Ant and Dec might score a home win, because I really can't see the juggernaut Britain's Got Talent being swamped by Doctor Who. I can't. Not with the froth that they keep trying to deliver. You know, if you want to watch crazy act, if you want to have a bits of comedy, bits of song and dance and bits of everything else, well, why don't you watch Britain's Got Talent? If you want to watch a stupid version of it, then you'd stick with Doctor Who. You know, offer them something different. The people who want to see talent shows and all that stuff will watch Britain's Got Talent. So BBC One should be offering something dark, dramatic, engaging, distracting. That's surely what you do. You don't just say, we'll do a cheaper version of what you're doing and hope that you watch. Why would you do that? Tell me the reason why. Or you offer something different. And Doctor Who will have that magic, unique formula of offering something different. It makes no sense to me why suddenly you go, well, actually, should we just kind of fight with our hands tied behind our backs and actually make it harder for us? And what we'll do is we'll make it so hard that we'll give the opposition a head start. I'm sorry, but Britain's Got Talent has been going for a few weeks. Relatives in the family are talking about it already. So that's already got traction. That's already got momentum. Doctor Who, all it's got is loads of trailers being thrown about and nonsense quotations and nonsense interviews like Varada Sethu. Yes, we'll talk about that. I'll get my panel's reaction. And at 6, the full panel will discuss that. So what do you all think of that one? I'll tell you what, there's an awful lot I want to talk about these scheduling. Like, what about the scheduling? I can't speak. The scheduling. Should we change the word? The timetabling of the Eurovision Song Contest with the FA Cup. Oh, we'll talk about that one as well. And of course, this can't make any sense, because those of us who've got the Doctor Who magazine, yes, some of us still do, in his first interview for Doctor Who Monthly, executive producer, as was Mal Yun, describes the long and difficult process that led to the show's triumphant comeback. I wanted Doctor Who to be taken seriously. I wanted it to be a contender. Is it anymore? I applaud them then. They really did try and make it work. And I think they did take it seriously overall, apart from the burping bin and all the rest of it and the farting Slovene. I wanted Doctor Who to be taken seriously. Now, you just think of the trailers we've been shown. You just think of the interviews. You just think, and I wanted it to be a contender against Britain's Got Talent, against some of those shows now. I think you can see how far Doctor Who has been diminished by the tinkering of Moffat, the tinkering of Chibnall, and the tinkering again of RTD. And it's such a disappointment, isn't it? Such a disappointment to see the goals that the BBC had then and where we've ended up. And of course, I want to get you salivating, because, you know, that there's an example of my golden youth, when look at that as a schedule. I mean, talk about, we could have taken on anyone. Look at this. The Wonderful World of Disney, then Doctor Who, The Mask of Mandragora. This is September 76. Bruce Forsyth Generation Game compilation. Then The Duchess of Duke Street, Two Ronnies, Starsky and Hutch, Match of the Day. That's called variety. That's not called just doing the same formula all night. The BBC should be able to do this if they force Doctor Who to do what Doctor Who's good at doing. Get the kids all animated and engaged, get the parents just finishing their tea going, oh, well, they're happy. And then they all sit down after that to watch whatever, Bruce Forsyth or a BBC version of Britain's Got Talent, whatever their version is. We've had the voice and everything, haven't we? So, doesn't it make you want to go back into time, I tell you? So, Rosa Aileen Ellis, who used to be in EastEnders and was in Strictly Come Dancing, she's given an interview as well, and we'll discuss that tonight. And she talks about how gross and majorly transformational her role is in episode 3, The Well. So we'll take a look at that, about what could be coming up. And I've heard some snippets. It's going to be spoilers galore tonight. So let's have a look at that. Because they've said in season 2, we're going to have loads of Easter eggs, loads of reveals. So we're going, and he said, RTD, didn't he? End of episode 3, end of episode 6, a lot will be revealed. And then you go, right, so what's going on here? Let's talk about it being the continuation of the Midnight Monster. So, you know, And, of course, Mrs. Flood. The talk is, well, who or what is she? And, of course, the talk is, well, I won't tell you exactly yet, but we are going to discuss tonight, because, you know, RTD said, please don't look at the internet. Please don't look. It's already been given away. Now, I obviously, as you know, for the sake of all you lot, I peruse the internet, and I've seen a fair few things. So I'm going to show you what I've seen tonight. I'll give you a warning before we do it on who is Mrs. Flood and what will be the reveal, we reckon, at the end of episode 6, at the end of that Eurovision Interstellar contest. What do you reckon? So we're going to be looking at that. And then, well, we could get into the debate about where does actually Doctor Who stand anymore. But I think it's important now, don't you, that we actually get the panel on and we do what SenseFear is good at. Talking sense, making sense, doing common sense. SenseFear at 6. Steady, go. Let's do it. Well, here's everybody. Good to see you all.
Hi.
All champing at the bit.
Hello.
Have I got you? Have I got you fired up now?
As
you,
usual.
Yeah.
You're all excited. I can see Sonny's up for it. Sonny, you are positivity.
That's what the sun is for.
Yeah. I wonder whether Rachel. I wonder whether we'll feel like this in 2 hours. Yeah. I tell you
I
what.
have no words for that except for a sound effect.
I tell you what, by the end of the 2 hours and going through all the details and the articles and being told to pee off and all the rest of it, we might eventually, you actors, Rachel, you're so bad with your
I
your
know. Oh my goodness.
Queen of the woke.
God.
Yes, Queen of the Walk.
Cheers.
So good to
Thank
see you
you.
all. Brian, good to see you. Good to see Rachel,
Good
the
to see
Queen of the
Brendan.
Walk. Good to see Sonny and good to see Jeremy again. Jeremy's got a double shift tonight. He's with me at 8 o'clock when we just go saving Doctor Who after having done these 2 hours. So that's going to be interesting. So I'm not here to waffle. No. We deliver on this channel. So Ash, first cab on the rank, shall I throw that at you? Here we go. So, of course, it's all about the destiny of the Doctor. And we will get to that quote from RTD. I'm dying to find out. Well, if he doesn't know, we're stuffed. So, yes. And remember, 8 o'clock, saving Doctor Who. So here we go. Here, what do you think of this? What do you think that looks like?
No
Bad
idea.
night at the Hollywood Bowl.
I was watching Just on Frontier from a late 1970s episode. Oh, I love my It's a Knockout. And for those who were abroad, it's like the Eurovision Song Contest, but instead of doing wars, we just get dressed up as inflatable giants and take on the Germans and the French and the Belgians. And the British were always rubbish. Now, I was watching that. It looks like the TARDIS to me, the TARDIS interior.
It looks like
yeah.
the Dalek spaceship from Destiny of the Daleks.
Yeah, that's very true. The Mavellans, it could be.
Mavellans, that's it. Yeah, the Mavellan spaceship.
Yeah, the Mavellans were in It's a Knockout. So anyway, I saw that and I thought, do you know what? This TARDIS interior is nothing special. It was done in the 70s by It's a Knockout. Anyway, and of course, talking about the TARDIS, oh gosh, we got a precious message, didn't we? About the EU has visited the TARDIS. So it is standing. Oh, aye. Sonny, how dare we ever say as fans that they're taking it down and that people had been sacked and made redundant? The EU's visited it.
You would think, huh? He said it's an absolute pleasure to introduce you. Where are we going with this?
Well, why the EU visited it? I mean, I'm trying to think. Are these the latest villains?
Well, it's probably a European Union junket.
Yeah. Doctor Who and the face of the tariffs. the tariffs of Wen Cheyenne.
TARDIS tariffs.
Is it supposed to be symbolic? The TARDIS can go anywhere. Look at all of us.
Well, why did they use? I mean, Rachel, am I right here? They did use a drape in that trailer, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. And I was just about to say, because the drone has actually said it, I was going to say that could also be an old photo. We just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Timey-wimey, as people hate me saying.
Wibbly wobbly. You can put it wherever you want. So I've just dropped something.
But if you stand there with a newspaper, with today's newspaper in front of the TARDIS set, then it might be a bit more believable.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think that works anymore. You know what I was thinking? Until they get the official word, how much money would it cost to take this thing down, only to have to put it back up again?
Oh,
so
God, yeah,
and trouble too. So maybe that's what they're doing. But yeah, this does not convince me at all that things are going well and we're going to start again. Not a chance.
Yeah, so Bad Wolf were really pleased to tell us this. Yesterday at Wolf Studios Wales, we had the honour of welcoming an incredible delegation of EU ambassadors to share the work we're doing here at Bad Wolf and Screen Alliance Wales. Now, I suppose there's no doubt they're sniffing out some subsidies. That's what they're doing.
That's what I was thinking.
Tax write-offs.
Yeah, money. It's always about the money. So there you go. So are we cynics? Do we believe them? Is that the set now? Is it still standing? There's a nice warehouse with Bad Wolf on it. Woo!
Yeah, the rainbow's gone.
Yeah, there must be rainbow up there. The rainbow saw yesterday, Brian. Honestly, it's they keep changing it every week. Anyway,
I'd say it's hard to keep up, but
Yeah.
it
It's in
is. It is.
style.
Can you imagine? You have to get a bigger shed if it said LGB and then LGBT and then LGBTQ, and in the end, they'll have to get a bigger shed to get all those.
It's not economic.
get bigger building.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, for those of you who are interested, we had a visitor from Pedro, EU ambassador, Belgium. But it is like it's a knockout. Belgium, Bulgaria, Latvia, Luxembourg, Romania, and the first secretary of the political section of the EU delegation. Oh, that doesn't sound a bit problematic. Anyway.
no Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I know. And there's lovely Rylan. I say lovely Rylan. I don't know why I'm saying lovely Rylan. Rylan looking at the TARDIS interior that was maybe set up one day as well. And of course, we will discuss tonight, later on, the Eurovision FA Cup problem that RTD has thrown Doctor Who into. But yes, the TARDIS apparently is still there. Believe us if you don't want to. So, first promised item, folks, and you will get a word in edgeways now. I'm just kind of on speed here. So basically, Doctor Who Season 15 episode might not air on BBC One. RTD explains why. The Interstellar Song Contest might be an iPlayer-only release. There's a schedule clash. Well, isn't this going well?
Isn't this the Juno Dawson story?
Yes. That's intriguing, Rachel.
Yeah. I say no more.
Well, why don't they just delay it by a week? Put it on the following week.
Because he thinks it's so clever to link it with the Eurovision. You see, this is the trouble. He's linked it so widely to the Eurovision that
Why can't he put it on before the Eurovision contest starts?
it is on. I mean, what I'll do is I'll just show everybody so Sonny and Brian can just see what the situation is. It's very stressful for us Brits, you know.
Oh wait, Sonny and Brian, do you know the Eurovision Song Contest?
Heard of since this thing came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Brendan. Sorry.
Yeah, the Eurovision Song Contest is normally not taken that seriously, especially because Britain never win. But we normally end up. I learned a lot of my French from it. Carly Minogue saying "Je ne sais pas pourquoi" and Joe Le Taxi, that one. And then I remember learning "nil point," Wyoming nil point. That's what I remember learning an awful lot. When you heard them say Wyoming 12 points, you went, whoa, 12 points. Anyway. It's all a load of baloney. They pretend it's the best song that wins. It's not. Everybody votes for their neighbour, and it's all a little bit dodgy. Anyway, what we've got here is we've got the Eurovision Song Contest on May the 17th. And before it is slotted Doctor Who. And before Doctor Who is the FA Cup, right? So FA Cup is our football. And, of course, it's getting serious. And so basically, first of all, I'll give you the hype here because obviously RTD, I'll have to sit through an effing football match to find out whether Doctor Who's going out that night. Charming. I do actually think he was just being cheeky because if you see his whole quote, he's actually quite happy to keep it like this. So anyway, FA Cup semi-finals, they're all at Wembley. So these are two big football matches and the BBC has one of them. And they'll be showing Crystal Palace v Aston Villa at 5:15. Football matches, if you don't know, are 45 minutes each. So it'll kick off at 5:15, finish at 6, half-time, 6 to 6:45. Then a quick little bit of talking and, show you the goals and everything. And hopefully by 7 o'clock, you start Doctor Who for the hour or 50 minutes. Eurovision starts at 8. But if there's injury time or extra time, that could be an extra half hour. So suddenly 6:45, it'll start at 6:50 if it was extra time, because they always have to mess about a bit, would finish at 7:20. Then there's no space for Doctor Who to show before the Eurovision. That's the logistical nightmare that RTD was put into.
Well, you just put the programme on BBC Two.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no problem at all because most of BBC Two's output on Saturday is all repeats.
That's a little too logical.
Yeah,
And
it
It is too
implies
logical, yes, for
about
them.
Doctor Who.
it is weird, isn't it, that in this generation of 2025, when we're all brilliant at texting and remotes and everything, that they have this old-fashioned idea that we can't switch a button from BBC One to 2 to 3 to 4. You know, it's like
In the old days, they used to, when there was a live event on BBC One, then they used to put all the children's programs on BBC Two. So if it was the budget or whatever, that's what used to happen.
oh, now Kez the drone is on it. How they have the cup presentation too. Now, Kez the drone, it's a semi-final. That was well thought about if it was the final, but it's a semi-final. So basically, they'll get no cup. They'll just go to the final.
But theoretically, if they were to put Doctor Who on in between, that would be a real sweet spot for them, because then they'll get inflated figures because people will be waiting for Eurovision to come on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, Rachel, that he's a good gambler, RTD, and he's gambling on getting this amazing sandwich effect from the ratings.
But then you could also put it on before the football, potentially. What time did you say it started?
5:15.
Might be a bit early then.
You know they like to
Really?
bore you for 2 hours, building you up.
Yeah.
We've just cut the grass. We've just watered it. We're interviewing the gardener. We're into.
We'll just put it on BBC Two, and it will just prove that no one watches it anymore. Well, a select few watch it. Sorry.
How dare football interrupt Doctor Who?
Oh, how dare it!
Sounds like we picked up.
Just put it on the following day.
I hate football, and I say bring it on.
Wow. Well, I think Anthony Parkinson was saying that Mad Mackham, FA Cup date and Eurovision have been set for years. Schedule problem or just a bunch of fools who don't know how a calendar works. Or as Rachel's saying, he's a bit of a chancer.
Well, you see, we never used to have this problem when Doctor Who was shown from September onwards.
No, it's always on at the wrong time. Jeremy, you're right. Let's go back.
Autumn is a brilliant time to show Doctor Who. It's going into winter and all that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, RTD does explain a bit more. He said they asked if we wanted to move it, but I said that's the most exciting thing I've ever heard. Let's find out. You can see a change in the Doctor in one of the episodes, blah, blah, and he moves on to something else, which we'll talk about in a moment. So basically, bring it on. I'm not stressed, darling. I'm not stressed. It's not a big issue. Maybe it isn't.
It sounds like a net positive for him, right? Because first of all, it's too much. It sounds like the Eurovision is like exactly like the Doctor Who episode, right? So like if we lose any time, they're gonna want to cut the Doctor Who stuff anyway to help the Eurovision not get stale, right? But like they don't care about Doctor Who anyway. So like any viewing figure would be good enough for them. And if they cut the time, right, then more people will watch it because like, well, I'm not even watching the whole episode. Let's just finish this out and I can get to the next one. So it's a win-win. You don't have to watch as much.
But
he has trouble making 8 episodes, from what I understand.
Yeah. But it's on at 8 o'clock in the morning, so on the internet, so on iPlayer. So what's really the big issue about it?
Yeah.
Stick it on BBC Two.
The ultimate insult, I don't know if you have it over there in the UK, but sometimes we would have a show that would run long, and all you would see is we now return to our regularly scheduled program already in progress. So you got the first 10 or 20 minutes chopped off.
That's awful.
Have you seen that? It was always infuriating when a show that you wanted to see
Doctor Who fans of old will also remember that there used to be power cuts. And so sometimes you might have a power cut on the night that Doctor Who's being shown. I can't remember, Jeremy. Can you? What had happened then? Did we see a repeat? What happened?
Well, I was watching, I wanted to watch an Image of the Fendal, and there was a power cut before Image of the Fendal Part 1, and it just came on 5 minutes before Image of the Fendal came on.
We always
we
always had an emergency call out to our dad who worked for Rediffusion. I mean, if we could get him, I mean, there was no iPhones or anything, but if my dad could get to the house and we'd open the front window and we'd have our dad had this special lead that would lead to an extra power source because I can't miss my Doctor Who, you know. So
we used to have a black and white small portable that you could run it on a car battery if you wanted to.
Adrian Sherlock, you know what really gets me? Despite all the stuff which is controversial, which we'll be discussing, the show now lacks any bite or imagination or even ideas. It's lifeless. I know, as some fan did say on Doctor Who TV today, we seem to be talking about identity, schedules, all the froth, and it's almost like we're not talking about the main event. And there might be a reason for that. So yes, RTD mentions this kind of strange sandwich, but here's two interesting responses. Deja vu. Basically, he wants it to go out on the same day as Eurovision, but if the football overruns, it gets shunted, as is the way that live broadcasts always win. But he doesn't want to take a postponement or shift. Also, Doctor Who isn't the event telly he imagines it still to be, because of course once he'd go, we wouldn't dare move it. Thinking, of course. Nope, definitely not. Can you imagine the ratings if it's only on iPlayer? Oh, I mean, me and Rachel do, I don't know how many shows about ratings last year. And if it's just iPlayer, Rachel, if it's just iPlayer.
Oh my
2 million.
goodness. It'd be impressive for the iPlayer. I don't know. Shocking, actually.
Oh, all that work Juno Dawson will have put into the script.
Yeah.
Well, you get the ratings after a month goes by. So.
I'm still worried it's going to be a bang bang a boom retelling.
Yes.
So
yeah, I agree. I think there's an element that could be a worry big time.
Uh-oh. I don't
Now,
know what that means.
do you want to?
Bang Bang a Boom is a Big Finish story, and it's a Eurovision based who done it type of story. It's not Doctor Who, but it's a fun one, I guess you could say.
I know a lot of Big Finish. Big Finish is pretty good.
Yeah, I like Big Finish.
It was also a hit record for Lulu in 1968. And she won the Eurovision Song Contest with it.
That's true.
She did. Boom, banner, ban. Now, if anyone's getting dizzy, I'm just trying to set my alignments right. Oh, I'm near the top now. Hey, right, I'm at the top table. So there we go. We've got the schedules being discussed then. Now, the other one, before I move off schedules panel, is I was mentioning it in my little monologue at the beginning. Doctor Who's against Britain's Got Talent. I call this Revenge of Ant and Dec, and I think this time they're going to play their Joker. We're going to lose, aren't we?
Ant and Dec are very popular.
I mean, Sonny, I'll be honest, if you had America's Got Talent versus Doctor Who with a song and dance routine with a rubbish song like There's Always a Twist at the End, or the Goblin song.
That's not fair. It's more niche over here. It would be more like you got to get a more popular show to compare it to. But American Got Talent, any decent show can beat that show. Nobody's watching British Got Talent. RTD's a genius.
Mind you, it's never Britain's Got Talent. It's never Britain's Got Talent. It always ends up being people from everywhere else. It's we've got some Russian acrobats,
Well, I don't know. Look what's on before it though. Gladiators. I mean, has that been popular? I've not looked at the ratings for it, but if people pushed on, then
well, it's certainly been commissioned again and again. So it's Gladiators the final, and then you've got Doctor Who against Britain. Now, is it clever, Brian, that we nick 10 minutes before Britain's Got Talent starts? I remember doing all my scheduling tactics in the old days, and you try and get a hook early and all the rest of it. Do you think that would work? Or do you think, honestly, mainstream public might go, do we watch a talent show where there's some laughs and songs and everything in between, or we watch that Doctor Who thing that's gone a bit woke?
I think normally that would have worked, but in this case, that's 10 minutes to grab a snack, go to the bathroom, whatever, and then do it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work at all.
No, I mean, problem being, we'll probably try and get on this week. Don't forget, the Eurovision episode is the most expensive one ever. Please, 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 may the football go into overtime. I mean, it is so funny that we as Doctor Who fans, we're looking for mischief, aren't we, at the moment?
Well, go
on, Sonny.
I was going to say RTD was a genius because maybe on the last episode, the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes are probably trash in the Eurovision episode, right? So he's like, we can take off the first couple minutes. But this one, he wants to go early. Maybe it's stronger. Maybe this is one of the better episodes. So maybe he's playing the game and we can't tell yet.
Yes. He's playing the long game.
8 episodes.
You see what he did there?
Oh, yeah. Do you know? You can tell a Doctor Who geek a mile off. We're very sad.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, so there you go. The schedules problems. Oh, to be a showrunner. Oh, all that work they've put in, all them virtues to be signaled, all those messages might be missed. Let's hope Juno Dawson didn't put piles of messages into episode 6 because it'll all be missed. And all the effort Rachel's put into researching Juno Dawson's back catalogue. All to waste.
He did it again, didn't he?
So I
It will
don't
go
know.
to waste. Won't know what to say.
YouTube, where double entendres go unnoticed.
The Brits are good at it. They're good at it. So, since we talk about schedules and stuff like that, obviously, I will just remind you that we've got Daryl Joyce and a good panel on at 8, where we have a brilliant video and we discuss the rights, the wrongs of where we've gone with RTD and whether he could have done a better season 2 from what we're seeing. And if you'd been in charge of season 2, what would you have delivered? Now, what I want to show the panel now is we'll do Vox Pops in the Vortex, okay? And this is a lively one. Now, this one, just to get you all kind of champing at the bit, you've got Will of the Fans here. We've got some top streamers here. So anyway, Oscar Groucho, first of all, every concept needs a refresh, a revamp, a pause. That's just how ideas work. Successive creatives put their stamp on and carry it aloft into new realms. Conan Doyle, blah, blah, blah. If it does pause, Doctor Who, it will return. That's storytelling. Get over it. However, Will of the Fans, keep trying to play like this is anyway a normal thing for a show that is actually successful. This is what happens when your show might get cancelled. And this show absolutely deserves cancellation. Thoughts so far, folks, on the standing of our show before season 2 starts? Cancel, rest, pause, continue.
I gotta agree. I think of The Simpsons of a long running show for here in America, and to my knowledge, that doesn't really get canceled. We're on season 30 something in a row, right? So
They just renewed it for 4 more years.
yeah, see, and it's not like The Simpsons is always good. There's a outline golden age and stuff, just like how we have classic Who, but it's like, yeah, some things have to end. And they managed to keep it fresh. They can't keep it fresh in Doctor Who. That's why it ends.
Yeah.
So yes, do we cancel? Do we pause? We've also got here Jesse. Now you see, you get this other type of Doctor Who fan. Fans actively want the show to be cancelled so they can justify their incessant, persistent, and awful hatred for creatives on the show. Fans from all angles, not just the right-wing grifters, but miserable left-wing fans with the most obvious always get. Does everybody? So yes, you do get some Doctor Who fans who get really angry that any criticism isn't coming from a place of passion; it's coming from some other agenda. You feel for people like that, as in, no, that's not how it is. I can criticize Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor for the writing, the performance. There's no politics in play there. Jeremy, do you see this? Because obviously you're on the other side of the Doctor Who fandom, and then you hear people like this saying, well, this is because you're right-wing or you're left-wing or because you're this or you're that. No.
Well, it's all down to the quality of the scripts. I mean, if the scripts are not good and it's not entertaining, it's not engaging, which it isn't, as far as I'm concerned, then people are going to turn off. And it doesn't matter whether you're a long-term fan or short-term fan or just an ordinary viewer, casual viewer. If they're not engaged, they're not engaged at the end of the day, you know?
No.
I'd rather them rest it and then bring it back a few years later and have a complete, total, fresh reboot and start again.
We see he's the mind probe, Sonny, saying, I don't want the show to be cancelled, but I'd rather that than it continue in this zombie form. A longer life isn't always a better one. And I'm veering to that, Sonny.
That Doctor Who fans should be used to cancellations. We had the Wilderness Years. Colin Baker got canceled. Like, all of this, like, I don't know. I feel like, and there's so much extra media too. It's like, this is the time you should be listening to Big Finish, reading novels if you really want good Doctor Who. But I think it's sad that some people don't care if it's good or not. It's like, you have a standards issue, don't you?
Yeah.
I would take issue with the Big Finish because Big Finish have gone the same way and they went off a few years back. So I stopped
Okay.
buying Big Finish stories.
I'm only listening to the Eighth Doctor Adventures and Colin Baker stuff right now. Like
Yeah.
literally, that's all I know, and all of that's peak.
Yeah, Colin Baker is very good in Big Finish.
Yeah.
Some of the early
Yes.
stories. The Spectre of Lanyon Moor is very, very good.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you
That's
reckon
lovely.
this? WizKid says, every TV show has its heyday, and every show has to end sometime. Doctor Who has simply reached the end of the road. It's tired. Years past its glory days, viewers are dropping. Sometime off the airwaves will do it good, just like in '89.
I have to agree. I grew up watching it in the 70s. It started in the 60s and went off in 89. That's a pretty good run of 26 years. And we had our little break aside from the TV movie, and bringing it back in 2005, with a few years off, we've had another 20. I don't see a reason why we should push it even further just to say that it's been running for, X number of years just to brag. But I mean, what about the quality? It's terrible. I say it's time to end it.
Yeah. See, Rachel, I feel like this a bit, Rachel, because I feel as though, God, the Timeless Children was ages ago, and that hasn't been unraveled. And then there's the bi-gener. He's adding more and more complications. I feel as though, no, it needs to stop.
Yeah, it's starting to convolute itself, isn't it? Just by carrying on that way. Yes, I agree. I don't want it to be cancelled, just so you know. But I think there's just got to be a time where you stop, you take a step back, you reevaluate, rest it, postpone it for however many years you want to, and then bring it back with a new set of writers, fresh visions, younger writers, and people who understand how the show works. I've seen like social commentators, evaluators of entertainment who don't watch Doctor who say the regeneration, when they've spoken about Doctor Who as part of the wave of the algorithm, they say that the regeneration concept, even though they don't know anything about it, is probably one of the best plot devices they've ever heard. So, it that just tells you a lot. So, it's got to have a rest,
When you think about how many people have wrote for Big Finish and all the Big Finish stories, all those were potential Doctor Who stories for the TV.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
it was, it's been a bit of a wasted opportunity to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've done a few, but not many. They've changed a few for the screen. There was Spare Parts, I think, was one. Jubilee was another. Was there any others? Was that it?
Can't think.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I mean, sorry.
Go on, Jeremy.
I mean, some of the stories were good in the early days, and I think they've gone off a bit later on.
Julie Coonan here. Good to see you. It came back in 2005 and worked for a lot of people until Jodie Whittaker for a lot of people. Why can't it just reinvent itself so long as you get a new showrunner and writers? I suppose my argument, Julie, is it's just I think we could have all overlooked the Timeless Children somehow. It's that just look the other way. Just like with the Doctor Who movie, he kissed somebody and we'll just have to forget that they said he was half human. But how many things do we now have to forget? I mean, honestly, the only way to watch Doctor Who in the future is in a dementia care home. It's ridiculous. There's too many things to forget. And it can't be unraveled that much. And therefore, all I can think of is you need a pause. I mean, there's no Doctor Who fan surely who wants it cancelled fully. But I just think it needs a rest. Now, Sonny, you joined, you're 26. You joined Doctor Who loving later in the game. So the last thing you want is it to be taken away.
I really don't know. I want more stories, and I would love to be in the modern stories too. But it's just it has to be good. The only reason I liked it was because the stories were engaging and fun and thought provoking and good. I have to fight back on the Big Finish. I was listening to a Capaldi story. I don't know if it was Big Finish though, but I can't remember the name of it. But he had a really good story where he gave like a card to somebody in the past, and then that card allowed the family to call the doctor anywhere in space and time. So you got like 5 different stories that connected, and the doctor's going like, when did I give this person the card and why are they passing it through this family? And then like he's trying to figure out this mystery, and there's all these different alien plots and monsters, and it's like these are the auditions to write the main show. And it was a beautiful story. I wish I could remember the name, but like that was a Capaldi audio drama I was listening to. So like
when I listen to you, Sonny, I can hear all the passion and the love of Doctor Who. So the last thing you do want is the main show to suddenly crash off the road. You'd think it must have been so easy for a showrunner to keep it on the highway and just keep producing good stories. But nope, it seems to be he wants to crash the blooming thing.
If somebody could just snap their fingers and fix it, and it was on next year and it was fine, I'm all for it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, exactly. Snap both of them.
I tried. It's not working.
I just don't think it can happen.
I think part of the problem is that number one, RTD we think is still there. I mean, I know there's rumours, but we haven't got anything official. There's also the idea that the BBC still has its clutches on it. At the moment, we don't know where Disney is on it. We're going to discuss a lot of this tonight because obviously there's more being said. And of course, part of my thumbnail is the interview with a very strange looking RTD. I wonder what everyone says when we get to that. When he was talking, hyper, nervous. I don't know. He seemed to have an awful lot of emotions going on at the same time. So that was last Vox Pops here, just to kind of get you all salivating before we look at season 2. RTD, Varada Sethu, what she said about peeing off the audience. Here we've got rewatching Empire of Death. I know some of you would go, really? And I've just realised it's a worse version of The Last of the Time Lords. Villain already's won. Hidden resistance against the villain. Getting caught by the villain was the plan. Companion's family in emotional climax. Companion chooses to leave. Oh my gosh, you mean fans are starting to notice that RTD's done it all before?
I noticed that pretty much straight away, like the running around with the TARDIS and all of that.
And how many times can you do that? I mean, I suppose in a soap opera, which he loves to do soap opera, doesn't he? You know, somebody will die, then somebody's relative gets married. They normally like to do a birth or a christening with a death, you know, soap operas. They love that sort of stuff. And he seems to be just on the same path, seems to me. So, yes, a very poor Last of the Time Lords and a very poor Empire of Death. That seems to be par for the course at the moment. So do you want cancel, continue, because you get more repeats, formulas like this? And he's grifting it. He's getting the pension here. He's getting the payments.
His money never stops. I want to see a new creative team. That's about it.
Yes.
Like, I would love for it to keep going just under random people. Like I don't even like it because it never mattered to me who was writing it when I got into it anyway, because the stories were good. And so like, but I always knew passionate people were behind it. So like if you just get people who know what they want to do and can execute the vision, it would be fine. Like people will watch it.
What did you I mean, good old Paul Richards here. That whole memory TARDIS idea was just plain crap. I mean, this is the problem. You had the end of last season, and I'm sorry, but you can't forget it, just there. And we had a spoon, and we had the universe was disappearing. Then we had the memory TARDIS. I mean, this is how we solved the end of season 1, believe it or not. I still can't believe it, Rachel, that that's what we saw.
Yeah, I know. How can I? Sorry.
And we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yeah, I know. I can't add much to that, unfortunately, Brendan. But yeah, that's what they did. And the thing is, Empire of Death had a lot of potential. The build-up to it was probably one of the better stories in the series. But it just went off like a wet fart, didn't it, in the end? It was just...
it went off like a saline. A saline.
Yeah.
Actually, by the way, has anybody got the Doctor Who magazine for this month? He's got in the Chris Eccleston one, he's got a short story about a Slovene and a pig. And honestly, this man is writing dross. I do not recommend you go and buy it. It's dross. He's managed to write 6 pages of a short story. And in the short story, a Slovene dressed like Margaret goes to a farm and wants to buy a pig. And she won't sell the pig. even for £500,000. You know, I was so engaged.
Really?
Can I just
Oh.
say about the
Al
memory
liked it.
TARDIS? Sorry, I'm still following
Yeah.
my own trail of thought from earlier.
Uh-oh.
No, it's, like the concept and the idea behind it, I wasn't that mad about it. I didn't mind it. It was a nice way to get the other doctors back, and I liked seeing Colin's coat in there and Bonnie's interaction with Colin's coat. Other than that, it was
It wouldn't fit Colin.
No, it wouldn't, not anymore. But it was there, so that was nice.
He probably didn't want to wear it. He probably refused to
For
wear
me,
it.
it was like
He wants the blue version.
to
Yeah.
me, the memory TARDIS was like that blooming, let's do the rip. When I think I mentioned this recently, when Golden Girls and some of those American sitcoms would do a repeat. Lots of clips, and they'd all sit around the table with their cheesecake and go, "Remember when?" And
Yeah.
yeah,
Clip shows.
the memory TARDIS is like that. It's just the
Cheap
Golden
show.
Girls cheesecake.
We got some nice little short scenes with past actors. I didn't mind that, but I don't think it was really needed for the Empire of Death.
No,
It sounded like it was a lot of extra fan service
I
just
think
to
so.
pad out,
I mean,
That's what
I was
that's what
just like obsessed with.
so people can like
I was
it.
just
You know,
obsessed with Colin's coat
like you
being
got
there.
that first comment. You
and
can't
remember, RTD actually said that the memory TARDIS idea was designed for the Empire of Death story, and it was only then he thought, "Oh gosh, we could do some Tales of the TARDIS." I mean, honestly, he actually thought this was a great plot device.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did.
he really did, and nobody said no. Where's the boy in the Emperor's New Clothes? Where's the person at Bad Wolf who goes, "You're rubbish"? Are you haven't got a clue? Who is he? The great guru of Doctor Who, and you go, "There's going to be a spoon, and then there's going to be a bit of this," and you're going, "Is there somebody who just sits there, like the tea lady drops her tea, going, 'You are not for real. My kid loves Doctor Who, and you're talking trash.'" Does anybody say anything?
I think they're afraid to.
Well, there you go,
Yeah.
Brian. You've called it out.
And then you're gonna be labeled, "You hate Doctor
Well,
Who."
you'll get
It's
or
like,
get
well,
fired.
I wouldn't worry, Sonny.
That-
Apparently,
that
I
was a
hate
bad
Doctor Who
episode.
as well.
Yeah.
Or you
I hate Doctor Who too.
Or you
I hate
hate
it
the
so
god
much.
of Doctor Who. He's the showrunner. He's the destroyer. He's the toy maker. He's the god of Doctor Who. Oh, you can't question him, even if you're giving him a hobnob and tea. No way. That tea lady wants to keep her job. So yes, I think it's dangerous. So that was we'll have some more later, but that was our Vox Pops to kind of liven us up. Now back to the series and the serious stuff. Oh yes, Serious Face. Season 2's on. I haven't asked the panel whether they're sleeping, because normally when a new season of Doctor Who's come in, you would go so excited. I've heard so many strange reactions. Anyway, they were on the One Show. There they are. Yeah. Up for the One Show. We've had the premiere. Millie Gibson there wearing normal gear, because that seems to be a very passive thing nowadays to wear normal clobber. And so this photograph was taken. Somebody went to see Minecraft at the cinema. Now it looks very empty to me. And on the screen is a trailer for the Ncuti series.
Oh, come on.
But
he looked like a nerd.
But there you
Actually,
go.
that's very appropriate. Nobody's watching Minecraft. Nobody's watching Doctor Who. Perfect.
Yeah, Minecraft's done really well this weekend. Oh, sorry, that was off topic. Right, I'm back on topic.
Unless there's very small people sitting in the seats. And you can't see them.
Yeah.
Or the master's been in with his tissue compressor.
Yes. Yeah, on every chair you'll have a little logopolitan with an abbot. But anyway, I just thought it's almost a bit meta. This, it's like, there's no audience there, and there's him on the big screen. It's like,
That's a great picture. I love it.
Are they really treating it that big? Because at the end of the day, it's a TV show. Is it really that film?
Well,
that worthy to
Rachel-
be on in the cinema?
Rachel, you've
like
got,
that?
you've
They
got
want it to be.
Yeah.
Rachel's got some strange ideas. I mean, did you see? She didn't believe me last week when I said Apprentice and EastEnders.
No,
Did you see those
I
trailers?
thought you were winding me up.
Did you see the trailers now when he lands? but the TARDIS lands in somewhere like in Africa, and there's lions outside, and they kind of go, oh, and they run
No,
back.
I ended up stopping watching the trailers because there's just too many.
Exactly. But there was another one, Play School, and they land in a cartoon kind of Play School house. Honestly, who are we pitching at? Teletubbies kids? What kids on a potty? What is going on?
I don't
But-
know.
Space babies.
Yes, that was his
I've never
target
watched-
audience. The kids picking the nose and making bogies, and there's the story, the bogeyman. Honestly, it's just
They don't pay taxes.
I know why they're making all these trailers. It's because you need a lot of nails to put into that coffin. That's it.
yeah.
It's all the extra funding from Disney as well, isn't it? They're trying to go big. They're trying to break it, aren't they? They're trying to break it through into other countries. So maybe they think doing this will
You got
help.
to do something for me.
Well,
Hey, I haven't watched it. It's all the trailers low key help me. You guys are too negative, okay? These trailers are awesome and they help me since I didn't watch season 1 and I don't plan on it. So I'm gonna need all the help I can get to figure out what's happening in this.
it's amazing.
this
Watch the amount
season.
of trailers, and I think you can guess the season. In fact, then you save yourself from watching the 8 episodes because you can almost just work it all out. It's an absolute nonsense.
And that's one of the reasons why I've stopped watching the trailers, actually. I don't want to work it all out. I want to be sort of in the zone and judging it. You know how I judge it, as fairly as I possibly can. So I don't want to prejudge too much from the trailers. And
well, this time next week, Rachel will be sat there with her scars on the sarcophagus doors, and we'll be having our burning issues, and we'll do it. We'll be as fair as possible.
Yeah, I always am.
It'd be interesting to compare Space Babies with the first story.
Yeah.
See what it gets.
Yeah.
And you know, RTD's first stories are normally pretty poor. I thought the Martha Jones one was all right when we had the Jadoon on the moon. I quite liked that one, but yeah, you go. We're on the one show, and of course we have the usual rubbish when we're talking Doctor Who. Number one is they love each other; their chemistry is amazing. And then the other thing is you had Jerry Halliwell there from the Spice Girls, and they said, "Do you want to be in Doctor Who?" And she said, "Oh, I'd love it." And I'm thinking, she's a singer, for God's sake. Why do we want a Spice Girl? Why am I asking the question? Because we've had Kylie Minogue in, we've had everybody else in, so it is turning into Ken Dodd, Delta and the Bannermen. Let's go for it.
The thing about Kylie Minogue, though, was she was
good. We're thinking along the same lines.
Yeah. And she was she started out in Neighbours. That's where she started. So she got an acting background, so that helps. But yes, she was good.
Well, can I just shock you? Sorry, Jeremy, that she turned into a star just like Joy to the World did as well. Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
I've recorded this one show, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
I've not.
I don't know why. What do you think you're going to learn? You're going to learn that they're touching. I mean, do you think they're going to tell you anything?
I just want to watch it for Jerry.
For those who've never seen the one show, it is a bit of a mixed bag show, lightweight show that's just fluff, basically.
Just fluff. I mean, honestly, it'd be more exciting to watch an episode of Stacey Solomon cleaning out cupboards. I mean, so anyway, to the brass tacks, because we've got lots to talk about. I know it's all about content, darling. Radio Times, for some reason, that cover just doesn't do it for me. But I think most of us are wanting to talk about what was on the right-hand side in the Radio Times when our top acclaimed actress, who's obviously, they're all very PR trained nowadays. If we get Dr. Woke comments, then we know we're doing it right. Ncuti was like, look at us. We get to be in the TARDIS. We're going to pee off so many people. Oh, I'm going to get everybody's feedback, but Rachel, as an actor, I am come on. Really? I know they're probably joking, but they're also being serious, if you get my
Yeah, that sort of thing. That even if Ncuti did say that should have stayed absolutely zipped behind closed doors. That should not have come out in an interview, because press, they will just pounce on that, and they will take that and they will put it in there. And like, no one vetted that. Did no one check that that was acceptable? Did no one say, hey, we need to take this out, because that's not a good thing to say?
Russell was furious when he swore. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
But this is right next to that. Like, this is bad enough. I cannot believe they put this out. I just read it this morning and my jaw dropped. This was like worse than the touching grass. If you want people to go touch grass, this is unbelievable.
When I did the Bigenerates on Wednesday, I showed everyone Jodie Whittaker saying white male gaze. Then you have the touching grass, as you said, Brian. Then we've had RTD saying, if you don't like what we're doing with Doctor Who, then it's not for you. And then we get this. I have to say, I'm sorry, but this is not PR. This is not a week before Doctor Who. This is whether they're joking or not. As you were saying, Rachel, if this is a mistake and it's something that should have been kept in, on set, so to speak, this is a disaster.
Any performance contract or voiceover contract that I have been under in the whole entire time that I've done my job, I've not been allowed to say things like that.
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
If I did, that was it. Gone.
Now, of course, Jeremy, it was said, because she tells us from her own mouth that on set, a Rwandan-born actor who's done very well for himself and an Indian-born actress who's done very well for herself are saying it's going to pee off people. I'm trying to work out, who are they getting at? Is this the right wing, left wing nonsense that we heard from Jesse?
Well, the main point that the actors are missing is if it's not going down well and people are making comments that they're not happy, then these two actors are missing the point. They're criticising the show, and you should have very little criticism of the show. Then you know you're doing it right. But because these actors have got staggering and swaggering arrogance, they just keep damaging themselves and the property itself.
I mean, I have no issue about where any of these were born, but I'm just pointing out that they've done very well, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Why would you say? Why would they say these things? If you're doing well, you don't want to do anything that might sabotage your career or the business that you're in.
But I don't understand. I have to say, I think what she's saying, Ncuti said in the TARDIS, is not about fans. It's like he says, it's to pee off some people. And I think they're talking about the wider society. I think they're talking about what they would call the racists out there. But I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. The country's not riddled with racism. Everything is getting overinflated here. And it's got nothing to do with Doctor Who, this. And it's got nothing to do with marketing. Sonny, when you read stuff like this, what the hell do you think's going on?
It shows me where their priorities lie. And they can't look at it as a negative if they don't believe it's a negative. Woke means different things from their point of lens. Like, they probably don't even think like that's a bad term, right? And they're like, well, if you don't agree with this, you wouldn't like it anyway, or you shouldn't like it anyway, or and it's just all type of negative feedback type of thinking that's not going to help the show, but can only stunt it at best. But other than that, Brendan, you're 100% wrong. That poster is the best poster yet. That was wearing pants. He's wearing pants. He has a coat on. That is the best poster I've seen
Brendan.
yet. And I've seen all the posters so far.
Instead of it saying who goes there, it should be who goes.
Who's watching?
Like, I just have an issue when they talk like this and they attach their politics to the thing. You're the face of the show. You are the thing that people see first. Colin Baker got fired for less than this.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, man. I'm sorry, good old 60. I will always stick up for him. But it's you shouldn't go about saying that. Look what's happening to Rachel Zegler right now.
It's the Snow White syndrome.
Absolutely Snow White syndrome. And Disney, even though Disney really truly are to blame are throwing her under the bus. She is now essentially blacklisted. She's gone from Disney, and she'll be on stage now for the next few years. So, learn nothing. Clearly learn nothing.
Because they should have said to both actors, please don't say anything that will rock the boat too much and damage the show.
Yeah. Praise the show. Say that you love it. Talk about what you really like about it. Just don't criticize what the fans will think or what they say or anything like that. Don't bring it down. Just promote it in the best light as you possibly can.
What gets me, Brian, I mean, I've got Eastland Burkholder here, and you can tell from the thread, these are all Doctor Who fans, and they're angry about statements like this. So Eastland Burkholder says, staggering and swaggering arrogance.
Yeah.
What shocks me, Brian, is in a week before the show comes back, I would have thought the type of marketing interview you do is, I want to hear the actors say, do you know what? I was really challenged by a particular scene. I was really challenged by what I was asked to do in Doctor Who. Because instead of doing a little bog standard soap, for an actor to do Doctor Who and some of the surreal moments, it must be challenging, let's be honest. I'd like to hear that than talk about identity politics and other stuff. Where do you stand, Brian?
I agree 100%. I mean, I don't know how much imagination or how much they had to work on these stories. I mean, there's a lot of special effects involved, so you've obviously got to imagine a lot of the things that are going on. But no, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that with all the things that they could do to plug the show 1 week before airing, instead they put this out where they're basically taking the finger and giving it to all the people who last year they told to go and touch grass, and they did, and now they're just doing it again. It's like I made a bet. I said, you just watch the ratings for this season. Despite all the hype and the special effects, the ratings are going to be even lower than last year's.
Well, yeah, because look, I've noticed, and I'm not one of those who wants wish fulfillment. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm ever hopeful, but I'm no mug. But so many fans and panelists, I have panelists, and I'm sure other streamers have the same situation. There are panelists who do not want to review season 2. They just don't want to watch it. I've got people in the thread who are saying to me, Brendan, I'll still watch your channel, but I'm not watching season 2. But they saw through season 1. They give it a chance. But having seen Empire of Death, they said, that's it. I am now leaving. I can't see it damaged anymore. So exactly, Brian, this is what I'm intrigued by, that when we start with season 2's episode 1 and 2, the ratings are going to give so much away because I think there may be more of a drop-off.
Exactly. Instead of trying to win us back, they're pushing us away even harder.
Yeah.
Makes no sense whatsoever. The audience is going to shrink.
Which is
especially that poll that went out recently about how many people are even watching the show anymore or who have even heard of the show. That was mind-boggling. So if you take that and you pair it with this, you're almost begging to get canceled. It just makes no sense whatsoever. But they have so many wonderful things to say about each other. Oh, it was wonderful working with this person. We have such chemistry. Yeah, we don't care. It's the show that's the most important thing. And they have nothing to say, nothing positive to say, really, except, well.
It's so sad. I'm reading the thread as people are talking. It is so sad. So many people are saying, I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch. And yet, lots of people have said, I don't know, too many people have told me they watch our show and other shows like it rather than watch the episode. And you think, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will watch an episode only if I was to review it.
This is true. Everybody in the thread hear this. So many panelists say to me, and I'm sure it happens on all the others, so many panelists are saying, I'm only watching because I have to, or I'm only watching for the sake of this. People aren't feeling the love for it. And that is all on RTD. That is all on him.
Yeah.
He had the specials, there's Christmas, 2 Christmas specials, 3 specials, there's 5, plus the 8. We've had 13 episodes of Doctor Who. Season 1, 20 years ago, he nailed it. It hasn't happened this time at all. So that's where we stand so far, but of course it gets better. A bit of good news for a second. Samira Ahmed from BBC says, just to give you a heads up, we're all Doctor Who fans after all. The brilliant pioneer in film and TV director Roris Hussein is on BBC Front Row next Monday, talking a lot of love and possibly Doctor Who. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm up for classic Who being talked about, as long as he doesn't go heavily down the Doctor Who Monthly road when it was all about LGBT, blah, blah, blah. He went a bit too heavy on that. I thought it was, when he kind of revised Marco Polo, he revised certain episodes, and I was thinking, oh, I wouldn't go that far. But anyway, there's a bit of good news. Tune into that. It's always nice to hear from the origins of our lovely program, Doctor Who. Right, that was it. Sorry, the good news is over. Sorry about that. Blink and it's gone. Our great RTD. Here we go. Russell T. Davies. And we've got a puppet doing him in a minute, so I'll cheer you up there. Dying to find out Doctor Who's fate beyond season 15. Oh, aren't we all? The showrunner says there are no meetings, nothing happening until the latest season has aired. Oh,
that's bad.
It's well, he says they're all talking about the next showrunner. This nonsense that some people read into too much. He's going, there's talk about it all the time, no names, but they're thinking about legacy and they're thinking about the long. I really do think this is hubris. I really do think they've put the cart before the horse. They've thought about a spin-off. They've thought about the Whoniverse. They've thought about all these schemes, and they've ballsed up the main program. Absolute disaster. This is car crash, this.
I really think they're trying to get rid of him. They're just planning it right now.
Yeah. Well, there are rumors that he's already gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to help everybody with this, and then I'll see what so this is what he said in the Radio Times, which is doing a lot of heavy work recently. Davies reiterated that he's still waiting on an answer. Do you know, I've got this impression that he's phoning Disney every day. He's on. But I have to say, that's one of the rumors, isn't it, Rachel? That actually RTD did phone Disney, and that ballsed up the deal with Disney. That's one of the rumors, isn't it? That he actually went too far himself. You're mute. Oh, she's mute.
Oh, I'm mute. Oh gosh, no, I can't. I can't talk about it anymore.
1920s actress, silent movies.
Yeah, that's one of the rumors going around. There's a fair few going around, though. Yeah, I have heard that one.
Yeah. So we've got. We're still waiting on Disney to phone us back, and that he hopes it comes back. There's no decision until after season 2. It's funny. I'm in hysterics because even people who work on the show think that means we're having secret meetings about it. No RTD. It's called people want to know if they've got a job. It's not hysterical. It's not funny. It's God's. We're all executives on millions of pounds, and it's so funny because the tea lady keeps saying, "I bet you're having secret meetings." No, she wants to know if she's got a job. It's quite simple. Honestly, these lovies don't get jobs, do they? They just don't get it. Because we did hear that so many of Bad Wolf were made redundant, and we know the contracts can be like that. But anyway, it's funny because even people who work on the show think that means we're having secret meetings about it. People I work with every year say, "What's really happening?" And I'm going, "Nothing, no meetings, nothing." And that's when the decision is. And the decision won't even be made by the people we work with at Disney Plus. It'll be made by someone in a big office somewhere. So literally nothing happening, no decision. And then the big killer is when he says, "We're ready." And we have a few different plans as to where the series might go next. I've got this idea that they've got all these. It's like, like a kid with a Christmas shopping list. And one's if your mum and dad have got a job, and one's if you don't. I mean, honestly, it's a kind of, right, and I can have a bike, and I can have this. And there's this version, which is a bit less. Honestly, what is he going on about? We've got plans. Oh, I bet you've got plans, RTD. It's just whether everyone's listening to you. We're ready. We're ready with different plans. It could go this way. It could go that way. Yeah, and you could go out the door. That's our job, to be ready. But we'll find out. We're dying to find out. I hope it comes back. I mean, did anyone see that interview in practice? Because, my God, the man was showing a range of emotions, and I wasn't convinced at all.
That lines up to how I hear RTD when he speaks. I just want to shake him sometimes. I'm like, dude, makes sense.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know
Sometimes it's better.
anything. Like, you should be having secret meetings. That's why everybody's yelling at you about the secret meetings.
Sometimes it's better to say less rather than more.
Mm.
That's what I would say to Russell T Davis.
Oh, you'd have killed RTD as a kid, you. He does like to use 4 words instead of 1.
But you don't know where.
He loves to be controversial. That's all he's. Isn't it wonderful being controversial? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Well, you've got JWC reviews.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, he sounds like a defeated man. I have to say, and I was intrigued whether Rachel saw him in action. Did you see him talking this through?
No, I would have to watch it. I was aware that he'd been talking about it again, but I've kind of been steering clear of it for a little while. It's just, it's not dragging me down. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
I'm going to have to watch it now.
You are. Because,
yeah.
Because I will be intrigued, because it is fascinating. I'm not a cynic actually in that way. I mean, he's trying to hyperventilate about the series, but I actually don't feel convinced by what he's saying at all, and I don't think he is.
Well, the thing is, he's always talked a load of drivel, hasn't he?
Mm.
And he just is a bit like verbal diarrhea. He's always been like that, straight up. So could it be that just coming into play?
But I had that, right? Okay, so there's 2 things that we don't know what's going on. We're dying to find out. We've got plans for this, plans for this, plans for this. Okay, we've got a cheap version of Doctor Who in plan, and we've got an expensive version of Doctor Who in plan. We've got spin-offs planned, and we've got spin-offs cancelled. It all depends on what happens in the future. But if you add to that on what he's talking about, and then you see the umpteen amount of trailers, it just reads of desperation that they really need this series to work.
Why would they wait for Disney money? Why wouldn't they just say, look, we need to know at a certain date whether you'll fund season 3. If not, we'll just have to go ahead with our own funding and make it.
That would be a good move, yeah.
And that's it. That's all I need to say. You don't say, well, we'll wait until season 2's aired and then we'll wait for their decision. Their decision could be months and months and months down the line, many months down the line, if they come up with a decision.
What he said,
so we'll let you know.
But Brian, he said ages ago that you have to wait till after the spin-off and you have to wait till the 2 series, and then as agreed, they will tell you then. But the way they're lining up all this marketing and the way we're over talking and he's over, I do get this impression. And just look at his language. We're ready for different options and we're dying to find out. We hope it comes back. I just think there is desperation in the air, and I really do think they're worried sick.
He's been moving the goalposts consistently for if whether or not the show is going to be renewed, and we all know the big rumor. Not that Disney are just ghosting him, but Disney is out. It's a big rumor. Personally, I believe it, and that's. I mean, why would you have all these plans? I mean, I realize that they have to wait until season 2 is aired officially, but for any company with half a brain to look at how the first season did, I would just say, you know what, that was a bad investment. Let's get out of here, and I would be out.
This is my common sense for reviewing of this. If Disney are trying to play bluff, that there's no need for to do that. If they think they are in prime position with the BBC on a hot series, they would snap it up. They wouldn't wait till they agreed that after 2 series, they'll have a chit-chat then. You would snap it up now. You know you would.
Yeah.
They always announce their big, this is coming up next year. Next year, they'll say. Before the show's even been, shows are being commissioned only after, 2 episodes. They'll commission a new series, and they'll announce it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying, now they're saying we have to wait until the next season airs before we make a decision. That's really a bad sign.
Hold on. I'm just getting told Sense 3 has been recommissioned for next week. Yay!
We made it.
We're doing so well that we're allowed another week.
That's a long time on YouTube.
It is. Oh, I'll tell you. Tell me about it. So, oh, Mr. Ring-a-Ding will not be calling the TARDIS phone to ring you. Oh, keep it coming, Thread. Keep it coming.
Oh.
I don't know. Garbage. Snow White said she isn't going to be saved by the prince. People didn't watch. Belinda won't be in awe of the Doctor. People won't tune into that either. Exactly. Add to all this drama. You know, paying off the fans, go and touch grass. You add it all together, and they're getting what they really deserve. Really,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
This is the problem, Sonny. You can throw millions. I have to say, they may write 8 brilliant episodes. You might have the best marketing in the world with your Disney platform. But if you've already told the fans to clear off, and we don't like you bigots, and we don't like you bigots, and we don't like you, I don't know who they think is going to watch it.
I see time repeating itself. This happened to Colin Baker. He saved the show. His stuff was great. It was the stuff that came before it that canceled the show. So
you've had some secret meeting with Rich.
I thought about it.
Honestly, I sent a stitch up. No.
Carrot juice.
We went carrot juice. We went behind your back, didn't we, Sonny?
He's amazing.
Doesn't he look tired? Yeah, I know the score. It's over for me. No,
instead of Trial of a Time Lord, this has been a trial actually watching Series 1 Doctor Who and Series 2. That's the trial.
RTD wants a phone call from Disney. Nobody wants a phone call from me to say, will you watch episode 1? Nobody wants to. Everybody's, no, I'm out. I'm touching grass. Right. Okay. Let's just have a laugh for a second because we've been very serious. Here we go.
This is us being serious?
I know.
Oh, goody. Time to let it go.
So this is, we've got a lovely lad called Jack who does brilliant RTD impressions and Terrance Dicks. So here's his version of RTD on the bi-generation issue. Here we go.
Bi-generation. It's a new thing. It's the 60th. Imagine how much fans love new things and will really rejoice when this happens. It's going to piss them off so much. Do you know, I've wanted to do this idea for years, man. I mean, it's just the whole idea of the Doctor simply turning into another person. That's so 1966. Honestly, my version is so much better. The Doctor literally just splits off from himself. And he's like a parasite. He's like, look, 1 Doctor, 2 Doctor. Oh, there's 3 Doctors and the other one's fucked off. And then I remember Julie came up to me back in 2006. She said, Russell, don't do it. Don't do it. Back then I had to listen to a woman, but now I was like, no. So I went ahead and did it. And you know what? I was delighted with the response. You know, people turning off their televisions in droves. That's what I like to see. Now, where's that mythical audience I ordered?
You've killed Doctor Who, you see. Everything that Verity Lambert, Barry Letts and myself created, you've completely destroyed.
There you go. We tried to stick. Yes.
Those were really good. I'm an impression guy, so
cinema.
2 thumbs up.
They should be playing that in the cinema.
Fantastic.
There's no green monsters in Doctor Who anymore.
Oh, he does Terrance Dicks so well as well. He does Shooty Gatwa. I mean, oh God, we've got loads coming. He's Shooty Gatwa. He's a good lad, very good lad, very talented, and yeah. So if you'd like that, please tell us. I don't know what you like, you lot. I mean, in the threads, tell us. If you're saying get rid of the Who, don't get rid of the Who pets. That's nasty. So anyway, here's a nice little lively one just to keep you all cheered up. Oh my God. So we've got Ben Lewis here saying, as much as I still genuinely can't see Doctor Who stopping completely under this current arrangement, we've gone from the promise of yearly Doctor Who with no gaps to I hope it comes back. Something has gone wrong.
Yep.
And this is very true, isn't it, Rachel? I say Rachel first because me and her stream so much it's ridiculous. But it has, the story's changed. Yearly Doctor Who with no gaps, and now we hoping it's coming back.
Yeah, something's not going according to his plan. That's for sure. Yeah, something has definitely gone on behind the scenes.
And that's what us Doctor Who fans are doing now, Sonny. We are actually seeing the little microscopic changes in the pitch. And I mean, Sonny, you reading the tea leaves there, do you think something has changed for the worse?
All the contradictory statements told me that just listening to RTD talk. So I'm like, there's no way this can be going the way you planned it or anybody planned it. And then you look at what actually happened, the results of season 1 in a real society, you get canceled, or not society, a real open market or whatever, you get canceled right after the numbers they put up. So the fact that we can still keep going is a lot of people's happy medium.
Yes, Jeremy, your thoughts? You must be feeling so smug saying, I'm not going to watch season 2, and then seeing it start to deteriorate, even their story is changing.
And I don't feel smug. I just think, well, it is what it is. You know, we told you so, and it's just not performing well at all. But that was always the danger of doing season 1 and season 2 back to back.
Yeah,
it would have been better if they just waited for the reaction of season 1 and the ratings and the AI figures, and then made a decision what they were going to do with season 2.
You see, Brian, what's daft here is, he said, we're doing back to back. We've got this great deal. Then we've got the 5 episodes as a spin off with the Sea Devils. Oh, so much Doctor Who. But as Jeremy has just pointed out, now we're going to have a gap. So why shouldn't we have? Let's just have the gap earlier then. 1 season of Doctor Who, the gap, get it done properly, and then have it on an even keel. What we've done now is we've rushed 2 seasons of Doctor Who. We're risking hitting the Titanic iceberg, and then that's over. It's over. That's it.
Yeah. No, it looks like if there is a gap, it's going to be because they're going to be changing production staff, everything. They're going to have to start fresh. That's the only gap that I see. But yeah, his messaging here, like I said, he keeps moving the goal post constantly. Actually, he at the very first one of his first interviews, there was no "we're going to wait until season 2 ends." I think he actually said it's going to happen when season 2 starts. If you go back and look for these interviews, you'll find it. He's actually changed his story several times as to what's going on.
Sleight of hand. Sleight of hand.
Yeah. You know, lying, whatever you want to call it.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But yeah, the yearly gaps, yearly Doctor Who with no gaps going to, I hope it comes back, is just the most dreadful sign.
So we
the
see
only
that.
way
Go on,
the
Sonny,
only
go
way
on.
it's going to come back is with the classic format, because you need that week to week. You need the time to stay in the same set. You need, that's just saving money. You need to be able to use the same actors for more than 1 episode. It just makes more sense to me to go classic. Go to another universe if you want to. That should have been the point of season 1. It didn't make sense from the start. So I
agree. A classic format, you keep that show on every week after week after week,
and it's easier.
And you keep it's in the mind. You know, people are always going to be talking about it. But now it's 8 episodes and it's gone.
I haven't fed you these lines. Sonny's just said this. Brian's just said this. This feeds the argument we're going to be having. It's a massive debate. Saving Doctor Who. Has RTD got it the right way or the wrong way? How can it be righted? What sort of Doctor Who should be made? It's a fantastic debate at 8 o'clock. And he's a snippet of Daryl Joyce's animation, because you've just mentioned Classic Who, and I feel as I'm depressing everybody. So let me just show you very quickly a bit more of this. But I mean, that's the Sea Devils for me. I mean, Medusa, seeing that, the darkness, the sinister music. I mean, honestly, this is, you know, that's the crazy thing, isn't it? That's what you need. And so we discussing that at 8. So please join in thread. Stick around. You need to get your supper early on this Sense for Your slogathon. I don't know what information are we required to be given? I think I'm giving articles and everything here. I'm churning them out. We have
Doctor Who TV is a good start for the ratings.
Yeah, absolutely.
we use that.
Fantastic.
I have used, I don't know how many shows showing you the AI figures, the audience appreciation figures, comparison. I've shown you the line graph from 2005 to 2024. I have shown you the peaks and troughs. I've talked about Joy to the World, when we go up and down, Strictly Come Dancing, then Doctor Who flatlines, then Wallace and Gromit takes off, and 5 million in 15 minutes. If you want statistics, they're full in my head. And watch all of my 260 streams. You'll find plenty of stats. I'm stats man. Rachel's a stats woman. We love our stats. So if you want stats, there's only 260 shows to watch. Look at my saloons. There's plenty. Matthew Purchase, I keep thinking of, isn't an unreasonable... Oh, it's the wording of this, but I like what he said. I keep thinking, is it an unreasonable request from Disney to want to see how a second season performs? They were bold in commissioning 2 seasons back to back, and I'm sure they want to be confident at the very least it retains its audience after a year. So Matthew Purchase is trying to be fair that why can't Disney just commit to another season? But could there be a reason?
Yeah, they spent up on Snow White.
Oh God, they've lost so much on that.
Yeah.
I was reading they might have only made 75 million so far, and they paid 200 odd million making the blooming thing.
Wow.
Plus marketing too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Marketing kills. Ask Gerald Ratner with our jewelry chain in Britain. Crazy. Yes. If I could find the graph, I would. But anyway, let's have a look. So,
there was another article about on Doctor Who TV as well, just recently.
Yes, there's loads going on. We can't keep up. I have to say, I could stream every day, but I do need to kind of sometimes have a bit of a chill pill.
Yeah. Aside from the April Fool's joke, which I fell for because I had just woken up. And I'm like, Brendan, why aren't you live right now? Why? He said, because of what's going on. He's like, April Fool's Day.
April Fool's.
I immediately put my head down. Oh,
Brian, can you imagine if I'd gone live and said, here's this, and I'd have lost face, as if I've got a face anyway.
Oh boy.
Now, here we go. We're not finished on RTD because he never shuts up. Right.
He doesn't.
That's a badonkadonk.
Yeah.
So here we go. Where he's more angry than we're going to see Ncuti's doctor more angry than we've ever seen him before. I think it's because he's going to say, could the costume designer get something that fits me? Oh, sorry. And I love that. There are moments of surrealness that we've never, I think we've seen, there's always a twist at the end that we've never played before, where the doctor's so out of his depth and puzzled, we literally show him things he's never seen before. The script, quality, but it's truly a finale that absolutely pushes him to the exit door. He is alone. He is abandoned. I know how that feels with no audience. He's absolutely desperate in the finale, and that's a Doctor Who always comes out fighting. So it's very exciting, and he delivers every time, that man. Have you ever seen Ncuti deliver a scene at 99%? Never. It's always 100% with him.
That is the biggest load of BS I've ever heard in my life.
Hold on, Brian. Believe me.
No. You can go back to Tom Baker and Douglas Adams' second story, Key to Time there. Pirate Planet. when he finds out what they're doing with all the planets being held in suspension and everything, and he totally loses it at the captain, that was a fantastic example of the Doctor getting angry. He lost it completely. He couldn't believe what they were doing. That was fantastic. Ncuti doesn't hold a candle to Tom Baker.
When he shouts, "What's it for?"
Yeah, exactly. But what's it for? What could possibly be worth all this? It is not a toy. It's just a fantastic scene.
But I can't knock it in one respect. There are moments when he's more angry than we've seen him before, and I love that. Now, I have to say, one of the criticisms of season 1 is he cried a bit. He was indecisive. He let down his companion in Rogue. And so I think acting-wise, I want to see him more angry. Although, Rachel, I thought we had the great Dot and Bubble conclusion. When he salivated and went mad.
Yeah, I don't know how well he built up to that. The thing is about what I find about him in the role of the Doctor compared to what I saw in the Importance of Being Earnest is that in the Importance of Being Earnest, he was able to build up to the peaks and come down from the peaks in the best way that he could, and he had a lot of time to work on it. And I think sometimes when he does the Doctor, it's now I'm angry, now I'm sad, now I'm happy, and it's very not. I don't know how to phrase it, but so it doesn't sound bad.
Jarring, is it jarring?
Yeah, maybe jarring sometimes. Yeah.
Dot, colouring by numbers.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, I'm doing this now, so I need to do this. I'm doing that now. It's a very it's not very method. There doesn't seem to be a lot of building on it. It's not enough colour to it. There we go. I got there in the end. Not enough colour, not enough variety, not enough right tensions. Actings have states of tension, and he doesn't always get it, but he does it in the Importance of Being Earnest. So he can do it.
Yeah. Now, Mike Disney is just one of those in the thread who's chatting to Reese. Now, Reese seems to think we don't show stats or something, and we don't like alternative viewpoints. It's a sense fear we do. I put up my Gmail account. You can email me. You can send me a DM on Twitter, and you may find I have you on the panel pretty fast. Brian will say so. Sonny will say so. They came onto my panel pretty fast after writing to me, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Look, if somebody wants to find out why we're in this quote echo chamber, if you even want to say that we're in an echo chamber, it's like I said, go to Doctor Who TV. If you want the abridged version, boom, the numbers are there. If you want an in-depth look, watch the show. But I mean, this person is obviously in kind of a state of denial. They're in a state of denial. You cannot have seen that last season and just say something like that.
I did a very
no offense, but
I did a very strict analysis in a saloon after the Joy to the World, and I went every 5 minutes. I studied every 5 minutes on BBC One that night, and I'm sorry, there's no denying that the Doctor Who stood out a mile. It just looked as though the BBC One was flatlining with EastEnders and Strictly and Doctor Who. Nothing was changing. But then Wallace and Gromit went, whoa. Gavin and Stacey went, whoa. So in other words, the big events were not Doctor Who. Now, fine, it's flatlining like all the other shows on BBC One. Therefore, why does it need the budget? RTD's not the real saviour. He's just an average bloke doing a soap opera like EastEnders. He's just an average bloke doing another Strictly Come Dancing Christmas cheesy episode. Nothing special.
And the one thing that we've always been very clear about, especially with the last series, is that there were good points about the last series. It wasn't all bad. It just doesn't always hit the mark.
Yeah.
And Brendan, you have people on the show like Michelle who actually really quite enjoyed the last series, didn't she? So, she offered a different opinion. So we do it.
I even like Blue Yonder.
Yeah.
Blue Yonder was an interesting watch. Very interesting watch.
So it is, you can accuse some streamers of this, that, and the other, but not the sense for you, because we normally have a panel. Number one, we allow debate. Number two, I don't cut people dead. and we do actually try and seek out other people. If there's a, again, I'll repeat, Sonny's 26, and you wrote to me, and you were monitoring New Who, weren't you?
Yep.
That's what got you in, and then you've fallen for Classic Who too. I got him on because I want different opinions.
Also, the fact is, we're all Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
We're not here just to carp and criticise every piece of Doctor Who stories or whatever.
I have to say, one of the most interesting panelists on here last year was Simon, the Contrarian, because he loves Doctor Who so much. He actually said that he would watch these episodes over and over, trying to find the good in them. And I had to tell him, if you have to do it, that
it's a bum shot. That.
And Simon has a lot of
no. If you have to do it that much,
Simon has a lot of insight because he also worked on the TV series, the original TV series.
Yes. But he's looking so hard to find something good in it, and then he eventually had to admit it's not.
And no, he's good. And we even joke about it on the panel. He comes on as the contrarian. We even have a musical segment to show you that. And I did a show with him recently about Doctor Who. So yeah, come on. Anyway, this is just, I'm catering to all audiences here. But there you go. Apparently, that's what Doctor Who looks like.
I would like to open an invitation to VC to actually join us on the show.
Easily, not a problem. Yep. So there you go. We've got Ncuti will be angry in the new series. There you go. And then, of course, he starts promising that it's going to be an amazing finale. The trailers show that Belinda wants to get home, but getting there isn't easy. She does seem to start to enjoy the adventures, which I mean anyone would, going around in time and space with a doctor. So in other words, there's no blooming story. I prefer this meat. Look at that poster.
Chips.
Oh wait, that's not an official poster.
No.
Okay. All right, I thought that was official.
No.
I was gonna say that's all right actually.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Better angle.
Reese, I would take a chill pill and just start writing to me now to come on, and you'll be given airspace, but you need to back up what you're saying as well. So what we've got here is telling us that we don't want a companion who complains all the time. Oh, he didn't like Tegan then, eh? He didn't like... I mean, this has been passed. Did Barbara and Ian, in a way, want to get back eventually as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean...
They did.
And
I was just watching... Oh, sorry. I was just watching the Dalek episode. I guess it was their second interaction with the Dalek. The issue was they didn't name the serial at the beginning. It was during the marathon, so I just watched it and I was like, whatever, I'm in. And they were really go-getters, Barbara and Ian. They were like, no, let's go out there and do this. But then when they got home and they saw London, they were like, Doc, we want to go home. He was like, sure, okay, I'll bring you home. It was like, it's just so simple sometimes, but but even then in that story, he got there a year or 100 years in the future. And it's like, that's the Doctor who I like. Like, that's just classic. Like, thank you. Time travel is simple.
But he dropped them off in 1965. So they got lots of explaining to do as to where they've been for the last 2 years.
Now, obviously, we are literally days from season 2. And whether you've got people thinking we're cynical or not, we're still open to what we see. And I'm still a glutton for rumours and titillation. Now, if you don't like spoilers, I don't know where you live, really, because spoilers nowadays, I don't think you can avoid them. But we're going to look at season 2. Here we go.
100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91.
Okay. I don't know why it's moved it like that. I love it when it does this. It kind of likes to play around. I'll put you back at the top. There you go. So here we go. Now, let me just get this right. There we go. Here we go. So, yes, Russell T. Davis. We said he says a lot. My God, he also gives maybe stuff away. Do you know what people were reading into here, Rachel, was the final hashtag?
What is it?
So he's waffling on saying the Doctor Who press launch, great memories, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then he puts, tables don't do that.
But, oh, thanks for making it bigger. I was trying to find my glasses. Tables don't do that. Really? Why? Where's he done that? I'm
Mavity?
confused.
You know the Nigerian episode?
That. I forgot about that.
The reality war, maybe? And everything's not as it should be. And so the tables don't do that. People are already trying to read into that. What do you reckon, Brian?
I have no clue.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know, and I don't care. But I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So anybody else, feel free.
Well, there you go. So that's not
it.
The tastiest one. This got into trouble because this photograph was revealed a few days too early. So you think, well, what's secretive about this from the Robot Revolution? I do like Max Parker. That's all right. But that orb thing, I feel as I'm watching the Tamura people. You know, it's I don't know. There's something about it. Is that Aurak? I don't know. It's just I don't know. What's so secretive about that? I keep thinking that helps them. You know, I said I had a theory of the Ark in Space thing, that we have the time ring. And I have a theory that this orb thing is going to have them traveling a little bit. I don't know. And I'm just wondering whether they really wanted to show that away. Now, Mrs. Flood, are you ready for this? If you don't want to guess what Mrs. Flood is or who she is, just give us a few minutes. But I did say, because RTD said, please stay offline, or as if people can, because someone out there has spotted already, like they do. Now, I've been looking. Now, I'll go around the panel and the thread, and then I'll show you what I've seen, and let's just see if this is it. So here we go. Who is Mrs. Flood, do you reckon, Sonny?
Oh, dang. I was trying to remember. My only guess is the White Guardian, but I'm trying to think if it could be somebody else. No, I'm going with the White Guardian. I don't remember the other cosmic entity.
Okay, well, that's what I mean. It's high enough up. Jeremy, you guess?
Yeah.
Someone said the Rani or something, or by generation of the Rani. I don't know.
I heard that.
But I'm not all that invested to actually care about what she turns into at the end of the day, because I don't like the character Mrs. Flood. I just think what's the point of it?
So you've got Flood, Rain. That's why people say that. Rachel, what were your thoughts on Mrs. Flood?
Okay, well, you know my doubts about her being the Rani because of everything with Pip and Jane Baker's estate. Whether or not they've got that sorted, I don't know. I know that someone has inherited it, but as far as that, I don't know beyond that. So I put it to you the other day, didn't I? I suggested perhaps Rassilon, but then I also came up with the idea of the Valiard because I was rewatching Trial, and I completely forgot that the Valiard is seen at the end of the Trial of the Time Lord. Trial of a Time Lord. Sorry, get the name right. So I wondered, seeing as they can regenerate into different genders, if she might be that. But it's a long shot, really. I don't want the Valiard to come back.
Okay, so there's one theory. Brian, your thoughts?
I originally had gone, excuse me, the Ronnie as well. I wasn't aware of the rights issues, but if it isn't the Ronnie, I mean, I don't mean to sound, I just don't care. After that first season, I just don't. After that first season, what they did to Sutek was one of the most memorable villains in all of Doctor Who, and they reduced him to a CGI dog.
I will therefore, for those who do have that kind of, want to find out, here's what I saw. Right, first of all, there's just a picture of her watching at, I think, the Eurovision, and then let's go into this. So, there are answers. There are spectacular answers, is RTD. She's at her finest, and you will see her in every single week. She's in every single episode. You won't ever quite know where and when to expect her. Okay, that's the hype. The red fingernails is this element, all right? So if I go bigger, there's... Now, who's that character there from New Who?
Missy.
Yeah?
Missy, yeah.
And... take a look.
Yes, the ring.
So what they were trying to do is go, hold on a minute. Now, is he bluffing us? Because You've got the red fingernails from Missy. Then in Giggle, you had that. And there you go. There's the picture. And then, of course, she was there at the premiere. But is that too blatant? Is that a clever bluff that Missy was there? She was at the premiere. You see? The double bluff.
He's good at the double bluff.
Unless she was just invited.
He thinks he's good at it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I
no, he
take back
thinks
my
he's
statement.
good at it.
I don't buy the fingernails.
Yeah.
I mean, they already did this with John Sim.
Yeah.
So
So
again, like you said, if they do, it's just repeating himself.
I'm
using
not
the
going to
same
be
trick.
offensive here, or at least I'm trying not to be, but the hands look too young for it to be Missy.
No.
Don't you think?
From that,
Michelle Gomez. Oh my God.
Sorry,
I
no,
know.
but I'm just looking at her hands there. I mean, maybe she had.
Maybe she was
Well,
just invited to the premiere just to
Maybe,
fill
yeah.
seats.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe.
there were other people at the premiere, by the way, who are not, I don't think, in this season either. So, you know, celebrities who've been in Doctor Who before. I understand that as well. But this was shown on the internet about 4 days ago. And then RTD 2 days ago said it's already been out there. Don't look online. Because we've all seen the Ranis mentioned. We've got people in the threads like Kesla Drone says, I can never pronounce the name.
Shilda.
Yeah. Or Clara. I've seen that doing some of the heavy work. But
Doesn't
Thomas
sound
McCarthy.
like it.
Yeah, Thomas McCarthy does say it. Mrs. Flood is RTD the master. Mike Disney thinks she'll just turn into Brian May. They've got the same hairdo.
She's married to him.
Yeah, he is. Mad Mackham, Mrs. Flood is obviously Adric's mum from another dimension, out for revenge. Oh yeah, that's almost a motive. Actually, Mad Mackham. I know you're joking, but
that's a good motive.
It's almost motive.
Yeah, you got to blow him up before I did. Sorry.
Now, Peter Harrington, as you know, is my Doctor Who twin, and he's obviously heard or thought about the same thing I've heard, that his bi-generation of David Tennant, the 14th and 15th Doctor, wasn't just a little whim, because as you know, RTD is some sort of genius of script writing. And the bi-generation idea, once it's been shown, he will say that Missy and the Master bi-generated. That's one theory I have been heard doing the rounds. So therefore, Missy can pick up the golden tooth of the Master to save herself.
Still don't care. I'm sorry.
It just sounds lazy.
Win me back is all I'm saying. Win me back.
Yeah.
You lost me in season 1. Win me back.
That comment that was on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's referring to the Rani.
Yeah.
Right. So would that be how he would get over the copyright issues? That would be his little loophole.
You mean like Mavity? You mean like Isaac Newton being Asian? That we do it slightly differently?
But it's still the same character, though.
Yeah, but then because obviously Missy isn't known as the Master, even though it's the same character, you could change the name and theoretically get over the copyright that way, couldn't you? I mean, I'm not a copyright law person. I'm just guessing.
I mean, I do know from listening to a podcast, The Greatest Generation. They made a rather good point. Like I had learned so much about television making, and one of them was if somebody had written a character in a story, you had to pay if you even mentioned their name in another episode. You mention that person's name, boom, money. It's not just a question of appearing in it. So I don't think they'll be able to get away with it then.
And the other thing is, so people are so, Michelle Gomez can act. Please, I don't want it to be her, because I don't think people want this era to poison anything. We saw Sutek being turned into Snoopy, and I think it's upset everybody. Thomas, Mrs. Flood is RTD, who's bi-generated from a poorly written script into the Doctor. I mean, you see, this is the level. We are literally 6 days from the new season. There's cynicism, there's mockery, there's ridicule, there's a low bar of expectation. And I think we're being fair. I think we're being fair because we've had, as Crimpling says, we've had Davros, we've had everything. I think it's Davros coming back as a humanoid.
Hey, well, he can reach the ground now.
Yes, he can. I think Davros comes back in the new series, moonwalking. Does a full maneuver, and everyone goes, "Oh wow!" And then they twerk with the Dalek because remember, Ncuti wants to twerk with the Dalek. They do a song and dance routine with Davros at the end, and you can't have a Davros in a wheelchair dancing. So that's why. There's all method to his. He's a very clever bloke, RTD. He's thought all this through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just forced everything to be what he wanted to be.
Well, I threw a wild theory into the chat earlier that she was going to be Angie Watts reincarnate because obviously that joke, that thing that I thought was a joke. Well, if we're going to EastEnders, she might just pop up. She might just turn up. Angie Watts.
God, yeah, and do timey-wimey. Mm. So the big talk is at the end of episode 3 and the end of episode 6, you get a big reveal. So here's the Eurovision episodes, the one that might not be on BBC One anymore, that nobody will be watching. And Juno Dawson, hold on, respect, says, every year the show starts afresh. Oh, do you know what? It's a gift. I think fans will love it. There are lots of secrets revealed that they will be anticipating. Oh, right. But I think it's also, it'll be fun for people who have never seen the show before. Right? And then, could it be the Rani? Could it be the Rani? Is that an idea? And then, of course, I'll come back to that because I just want to make sure we've just kind of... Right. Rose, I can never say her name, Rose Aylin Ellis, who was in EastEnders, was in Strictly Come Dancing, she's a deaf actress, so to speak. Now, she has said for the episode 3 moment, because the theory is that at the end of episode 6 of the Eurovision Interstellar contest, that there'll be a reveal of maybe Missy or the Master at the end, very like Utopia. If you think of that, Utopia was the beginning of a trilogy, and the Master was revealed, and then you got the 2 episodes with John Sim. And there's a theory that we're going to get a big reveal at the very end, and actually that Belinda and the Doctor may have already left the planet or wherever it all happens. And then the Master does the big reveal on the stage, Master, Missy, whatever. And then we're into the climax. But then episode 3, The Well, Rose Aylin Ellis and Juno Dawson say this. BBC Strictly Come Dancing star teases a gross Doctor Who transformation. Now, a gross transformation. And then also, it's going to be the scariest episode in the history of Doctor Who. Well, that's Juno Dawson, who says she's watched all Doctor Who. The third episode in particular is one of the most expensive episodes they've ever done, and it's really scary. The storylines are going to be so unpredictable that even long-time fans won't know what to expect. There are lots of surprises, says Juno. There are so many twists. You might think you know what's going to happen, but you don't. Okay? And it's just to join with this, when she says, Rose, that, because the picture you see is she's stuck. Let me just get to it now. It's just there. They've built it up as if she's stuck at the bottom of this well. She's on her own. But then she talks about a gross transformation. And she talks about it being one of the scariest episodes ever. And it's a top secret role, she says. And you think, what's the reveal here? And Varada Sethu and Ncuti Gatwa, when they were still in America, said the Whovians are going to love the amount of Easter eggs and reveals. So what are your theories here?
Well, the Whovians and the long-term fans have left, so they're not going to be interested.
Sonny, what are you thinking?
I don't think the Easter eggs are as big as they think they're gonna be, and all of the language, like, it makes me think, did they talk like this during Peter Davison era? Like, was this is what they were saying about the season?
No,
See,
because
so like,
they wouldn't even tell you the Cybermen were coming back. They allowed us to be surprised.
yeah, so
Mhm.
it sounds like manufactured slop that you have to say about the show because they're not allowed to say anything
Exactly.
negative about the show, right? And then so it's like, well, there are gonna be some surprises. Well, they can't hit as hard as any of the ones in Classic Who because you're not doing the classic format. But so like when you hit these points, like when the master's gonna show up, it makes me think like, is it gonna hit as hard as some other series episodes I'm thinking of? And I doubt it. So like, okay.
So there you go, right? Now, and the Doctor Who fans are amazing because there's a photograph of, Rose Aylan Ellis. And then we've already seen this, but they were making a big play of on the door of the well. Can you see on the door, there's an icon which is a big G. And they said that's gladiators. That's the logo for the gladiators. And we had a trailer. Rachel's got so many trailers to watch where they land in the gladiators arena. Did you know that one?
It's not global chemicals.
It's G-force.
So the reality war, has he actually got them blurring with, and do you know, Rachel, you might stumble on something where the Anita Dobson idea where basically it blurs with soap, it blurs with meta, it blurs with gladiators, and actually he's been actually shown us the truth under our noses.
Oh man,
which I would hate.
I don't know what to say. Sorry.
If I may.
Yes.
Go on, Brian. Save me.
Yeah. Oh, gladly.
Thank you.
Actually, it was pertaining to the last segment we just finished. All I can say is that they're saying it's the most expensive episode. Oh, it's going to be the most horrifying episode. It's going to be this. There's going to be so many twists, so many turns. If you have to resort to all of these tricks and all of this hype for a show where back in the day there were twists and turns here and there, but we're not talking like these kinds of twists and turns and Easter eggs and all of that. If you have to do all of this, you've got a problem. There is something wrong with the show where you're trying to have to do all this trickery and to pull people in. I really think that's what's going on here.
Well, can I just give a teaser for 8 o'clock's debate? When we talk about what's gone right, what's gone wrong, one of the things I argue is this, that under RTD, he seems to think that Doctor Who is all about the destination rather than the journey. Now, I know I sound as though I'm a therapist, but think about it. Part ones of Classic Who were always the best. The mystery, the atmosphere, the mood, and you didn't know what the hell was going on. Part fours was the resolution, and you saw that there were just rubber monsters and all. Part 1 and 2, I always loved the best in Doctor Who. Think about it, everybody. Now, and so therefore, Doctor Who was always built on the cliffhanger, and it was built on the journey, that the kids loved the journey and the excitement and what's going to happen and what's the reveal. Whereas now RTD pitches a whole season on the destination, the big reveal at the end. So once you know the reveal, the stories just look a bit flabby and you don't want to watch them again. That's, I think, the issue compared to Classic Who. Sorry, a little spoiler for 8 o'clock. That we'll be debating. Now, Crimpling Doubloon here says, I think The Well will be a sequel to The Satan Pit, and the deaf actress will be immune to the control of the devil by being deaf, enabling herself to save everyone by sacrificing herself horribly. And I have to say, there's 2 theories going on here. It's the Satan Pit sequel, and that you've just heard that idea. The other one that's done the rounds is it's a sequel to the Midnight episode.
Yeah.
And
I don't know about it.
They stole your voice, didn't they? And it would be an interesting one because she's deaf. I wonder if he's going to play on something where basically they can't do the same communication trick. Anyway, it's fascinating where you're using something that's special about her deliberately within a plot.
It would be a good idea, but I think it would be a great disservice to a very, very, very revered story from Russell's initial run.
Risky.
Oh, you mean Midnight?
Yeah. I why go back? why go back when you have? Well, when you see something that's just so good, I'm a big believer in that was so good. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone and let it be remembered forever. Do you remember that one episode where they did this or they did that and not cashed in on like the Weeping Angels? They cashed in on the Weeping Angels, and we all know what happened with them.
You see, Brian, one of my examples is Utopia, when Derek Jacobi was revealed. I mean, that was a stunning reveal.
That was so
However, please, everybody, in the thread, answer the question rhetorically. How many people go back and watch Utopia or just watch that moment? I watch that moment of reveal. I don't watch the whole story. That's the problem with RTD's era. It's just moments. It's not stories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I tell you something. If he had rolled with Derek Jacobi as the master just for a little bit longer than what he did, I would go back and watch the next one. I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head, but I would go back and watch Utopia and that one constantly. Now, I like John Sim, but I would have loved to have seen more of Derek Jacobi as the master. It was such a good reveal, and he loved it. You could tell.
Oh, and he's doing a big finish. So democracy, I love how every theory just assumes there's no way RTD is doing something original. Oh gosh, have we twigged something there? Yeah, because he hasn't got any more ideas really. So yes, we will kind of be discussing that at 8 o'clock. You can't go anywhere. And Daryl Joyce is worth it just for that. But the debate on top is brilliant. However, we've still got other stuff to talk about in the last few minutes before we finish. What I wanted to say is it's the robot revolution, didn't you know, on Saturday?
This week.
What are you looking forward? Are you looking forward to that story from what you've seen thus far? I'll start with you, Sonny.
I will say the robot kind of looks like the one from the Peter Capaldi special with her husband River song or something.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. It looks kind of mid, I think.
It looks very camp is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
That gun looks almost right out of The Simpsons with zap. It's they're not winning me over.
No, as somebody, Paul Richards. Sorry, you're not somebody. It looks like Transformers.
Nah, Transformers look better.
Very
than that.
good.
Transformers comics right now are really good, and it looks way better than this.
I know, and I don't know. There's something about it. I feel as though we're turning into sci-fi caricature type stuff rather than real solid Doctor Who. And when you see the 2-minute video package of Daryl Joyce, you can see exactly how Doctor Who could be delivered in 2025. And it's not doing Teletubbies Doctor Who. It's just not. Now, this is a scene they revealed for the Robot Revolution, filmed during the finale block on April 16th. Maybe they waited for better weather, greener grass. Now, take a look at this. Now, I know it's in the distance, so what I've done is, there you go. So there's a scene in the Robot Revolution. I know we think she's kidnapped and they name a planet after her and there's a revolution going on. But as usual, they're giving so much away that we've got a scene which is either memory thin. All I can think of, Rachel, as an idea, sorry, spoilers, is there you go. There's the certificate. You name a star, somebody in your family dies, or it might be a romantic gesture, and you name a star for them. It's very cute. And maybe that lad there, she's remembering the moment a star was named after her. And then, of course, AI forces these robots to come and get her because the star's named after her. Oh, my God. Have I got the plot?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, probably.
Let's not repeat the crossroads now. That's it.
Yeah, he was probably thinking this will be a nice romantic gesture. I'm going to be popping the question to her. I'm going to ask her to marry me. I'll name a star after her and she'll say yes, which she doesn't look particularly pleased about it. But then that's obviously what makes everything else happen. It's the catalyst.
Brian, you're getting excited, aren't you now?
Well, I was getting excited at watching Inferno instead. I'm going to wait until I see a review the next day and viewing figures and go from there.
Yes, well, Sonny will be joining me at 11 p.m. on the actual Saturday night doing our first impressions reaction. Then
be-
Rachel will be joining me, our usual slot on Sundays, doing the formal review with points, scores, burning issues, the blooming lot. And then there's another review show I've got up my sleeve from a different slant. But there you go. I mean, Jeremy, I haven't asked you. I mean, are you excited?
I was just looking at the pitch and seeing what he was actually kneeling on a cushion. So obviously he was doing that scene for a long time. I was thinking, I don't have a problem with my knees.
You're going to propose to somebody and you're going to have a cushion. I think that's a bad look.
No, health and safety will be paramount back then. Now, and he would have to kneel on a cushion.
Rachel,
automatic, no questions about it.
You know that person who's out of shot a bit and you can just see their legs?
Yeah.
I think that's the intimacy coordinator.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. You know, because you've got to be so careful now. Oh, honestly. Anyway, here's another bit from Robot Revolution just before we all complete. According to the program given out to the Robot Revolution premiere, as if you're invited, there's a new monster in Doctor Who Season 2 called the Noctis Incanticum. Sounds nocturnal and squiddish. It's probably a quick glimpse of a creature kept at unit headquarters, and you can see its red eyes there, and we think it's in the episode with the Millie boyfriend.
I think that sounds like a spider.
Noctis.
I don't know why.
Kid.
Noctis.
It's going to roll off the tongue in a playground. I want to be the Noctis Incaning. You know, it's like, oh my God, Mexic, you stuffed. I mean, honestly, it's just not helpful at all. But there you go. I'm trying to get you all excited. I don't know if that's possible.
No, you shouldn't have shown.
I'll judge it when I watch it. I think that's the safest thing to say.
Do you know what? I feel like Babu telling Seinfeld, "Where are customers? Show me customers." We all remember that, and that's what I'm saying. Win me over. Win me over. Show me a good episode. Win me over, and I'll start watching it again.
That sounds easy enough. That sounds like a deal. So we've rolled on tonight. Now, next time we meet, oh my God, it will have landed. So remember, this time next week, we'll be doing a formal review, and it gets interesting. It gets really choice because we go through criteria. And remember, I'll have already done another show, First Impressions, on the Saturday night, 11 p.m. And there's plenty more, and we'll be salooning it. I'll be salooning it. Rachel will be freaking out on her channel. She'll be busy. Your channel, I'm sorry, I've only got a minute to go, but Rachel, if you tell us quickly about your channel.
Yeah, my channel, we cover a lot of woke issues, and we talk about Doctor Who on a Sunday. We've got Trial of the Time Lord going on at the moment. That's hefty. Yes, so 4 p.m. currently, Sunday through to Wednesday, and then interactive content on the other days mostly. But there's no video this Wednesday because I'm at a event.
You are.
I am.
Brian is called the Zero Room, and he is starting a channel, so look him out. I'm running out of time to say stuff, but we can certainly advertise the name of it. Jeremy, of course, will be on again when I can get him on, because obviously I'm going to have to force him on certain issues. And Sonny will be joining me as well. So we're all going to be joining again. Please, everybody, there is an outstanding debate and outstanding illustrations about to come onto this channel once I shut my face. You don't want to miss it, and I mean it. So everybody, thanks to the panel, thanks to the thread. Get yourself the fastest cup of tea, because we've only just started. Good night, everybody, from the first panel.
Ta-ta.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Rachel,
See you later.
Good to meet you, Sonny.
Bye.
It was a great chat.
8 o'clock, big debate.